The information discussed on Talkin' Money with Jeff Tarbell is believed to be from reliable sources. However, no responsibility is assumed for inaccuracies. No statement made on this broadcast should be construed as a specific recommendation of a particular investment product. Views expressed are those of the speakers and do not necessarily represent those of CBS Radio. Use only as directed.
Smiles, everyone. Smiles. And prepare yourself for...
Show me the money!
Ladies and gentlemen, the radio broadcast experience designed to keep your wallet in top condition. It's Talkin' Money with Jeff Tarbell.
Talkin' money. Talkin' money. More money, more money, more money.
And now entering the studio, your guru for fiscal fitness, Jeff Tarbell.
Right, how you doing? We are back. I got a limp microphone limp wrist here. I got a limp holder thingy there. I don't. For a while there, this thing worked all great in here. The studio was all clean and pretty. Now it looks like a dump again. Yeah, it acts like a dump.
It doesn't last long, does it?
That is radio for you. How are you doing? My name's Jeff Tarbell. That's John Fodorero. This is Talkin' Money. Back to our 1 hour program. I've got 2 hours worth of stuff, and I'm going to get it all in today, so you're going to have to listen quick. That is the plan of attack. So we can do it if you want to do it. We start every show out the same way. Give out the phone number 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140, or you can text me at 441140. If our phone screener calls you after you text, that's one of the risks you take of being chastised. Don't let it hinder you. It's okay. She was a principal. She's having flashbacks. If you catch the ruler upside your head, then that's how I grew up, so you're going to have to deal with it. That's just how it goes here in the modern world. But before we get into all that, we got to get into the big boy there with his what does your shirt say?
Etihad.
Oh,
Airways.
right. Yeah, I have that same brand of cookie. What does Etihad mean?
They're the sponsor of Manchester City soccer team.
Oh, how did I not know that?
Come
on, Richard. So what's happening there, big boy?
Really excited today. As you know from many of my musings, I'm a huge boxing fan.
Yes.
And tonight is one of the biggest matches. If you're only going to watch one fight tonight, if you're kind of a casual fan, tonight is a night. Get a bunch of your buddies together. Everyone chip in $5. Get the pay-per-view on HBO. We have Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., son of Julio Cesar Chavez, one of the greatest boxers of all time, versus Sergio Martinez, one of the greatest boxers right now, going for the middleweight championship. It's going to be an amazing fight, and everyone's saying that boxing is dead. They've got that fight going on in Vegas, plus for 20,000 people at the Thomas & Mack Center, 6,000 are going to watch it on closed circuit, and there's another match going on the same night, 14,000 at MGM Grand for 40,000 people in Vegas watching boxing. So,
wow.
You're right, it's dead.
Yeah,
500,000 buy is going to be on pay-per-view. So
yeah, I'll have to watch that next Saturday on the HBO replay, because I'm going to be at the Sammy Hagar thing tonight.
That's right.
I think so.
Isn't that the same thing you said about 20 years ago?
Yeah, it was.
I'm going to miss a fight because I'm going to the Sammy Hagar.
The Sammy Hagar concert. That's true.
Deja vu
all over again. So I don't know where everybody's going to park down there in Old Roseville tonight. But there is a new parking structure, I think. So we'll figure that out. So get there early, will you? Give me a parking spot in the seat.
I'll hold that too.
Hold all that for me. Yeah, that'll be kind of cool to see how that all comes together. There's a big benefit outdoor concert tonight for the opening of the Sammy Hagar restaurant in Old Town Roseville. The inside event, I believe, is all sold out or invite only, or you better have a ticket that has your name on it. Let's put it that way.
That's right. Make sure.
Or get on eBay and change your name to John. How do you spell photo? I'm John F.
That's right. I swear.
Yeah, so
they spelled it wrong.
They just did? Oh, great. Hope they don't match up your ID there. This was a crazy week. I mean, just so much stuff going on this week.
It was.
Things that would normally push rates up or down, pushing rates up or down and up or down. I joke because I was coming in the studio here before the show, listening to one of my own commercials going off, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm not sure that's a approvable commercial anymore, because one of the things that we are going through in our industry, and this is, well, in most part, the advertising part of it's always been true, but certainly the mortgage industry is going through another round, if you will, of cleaning up their act, or further cleaning up their act, which I think is good. And this week we did a little review of how we market things and what we can say and what you can't say and what you can put in print and what you can't put in print. And that's not that's no different. It's always been the same. There's always been truth in advertising. And people ask me all the time, why don't you put mortgage rates on your website, interest rates? And I said, what rate would I put on there?
Right.
I mean, 10 years ago, you could put, the 30-year fix and a 15-year fix, and you could put the rates down, and it applied to everybody. Because, I mean, you either got the rate or you didn't. But today, I mean, the first off, just the complexity to determine what rate you should get based on what are you doing? Are you purchasing? Are you refinancing? And if you're refinancing, are you doing a HARP? Are you doing an FHA streamline? Do you have equity? Do you have no equity? Did you have PMI before? What's your credit score? There's got to be 15, 20 questions, which is irritating when you're trying to call and get the rates, because I want to give you your rate. I don't want to give you the rate.
Right, exactly.
Well, the rate is free. Pay off your mortgage. It's free. I mean, so that's why I don't put rates on our website. Is I don't know which one to put, and it'd be meaningless to 95% of you.
Yeah.
So and then I'd have to spend my entire day changing the rates, and then the disclosures that would go after that would be so long. You'd have to go off my homepage onto the next page to read all this. That's why I don't do it.
You can't do it.
It's a waste of time.
Yeah.
But I was reading through the prescribed manual of proper advertising etiquette in this world, and I have come down to my new radio spot going forward, which is going to be a lot easier. It's going to be cut down from the typical 30 seconds to something in the 3 or 4 second range. And I think I've got it worked out. I'm going to run a test here for you. Go ahead and run a tape on this, Chris. This will be my new radio spot. You ready to go? 3, 2. Good morning. This is Jeff. Oh, I screwed up already. First of all, you can't say good or morning, because if you may not be having a good morning, in which case that would be an offense to you. And it may not even be morning when you hear this. So I can't even do more. So I have to just say 3, 2. Hi, my name's Jeff. Good night. That is our new spot right there. I can't give you any more information other than this is my name. I'm not sure I can even give out my phone number because I might be misleading you to call me, God forbid. And I can't say anything about what industry I'm in because that could be misleading. So I could just say, my name is Jeff. Thank you.
Okay, we got your new spot ready.
You got it? Okay, get ready? Let it go, Chris. Hi, my name's Jeff. Good night. There you go. Perfect. I'm going to save a fortune in advertising. I mean, a fortune, because I don't need to buy 30-second spots anymore. I'm buying the 2-second spot.
You could just do, I'm Jeff. The King. Call me.
When I run for King, I'm not going to run on any sort of platform. I'm just going to say my name over and over again with the bell. Remember we got that all down? Yeah. Just Jeff Tarbell, boom. Jeff Tarbell, boom. And then when you go to vote, because you don't remember a damn thing anyway when you go to vote. You just remember, God, that guy's name is irritating. I'll vote for him.
Jeff Tarbell, bing.
Yeah. So I've got my spots down. I'll be adjusting my advertising schedule this week. The good news is I'm going to keep my advertising budget the same. I'm just going to play that spot 60,000 times. But if you have to figure out how to call me, that'll be your problem. So that is what we're going through in our world. And I jest, but only slightly. Only slightly do I. I mean, really, what they don't really want you to, and they being any of the agencies, they really don't want you to say anything other than really your name and your number. I mean, if you get right down to it, you can't. If you mention anything, like I mentioned about the rates, if I mention any sort of programs and rates, then the disclosure would be so long, the spot would be like an hour long. It'd be like
that's crazy.
Like a football game.
A little bit ridiculous, but it is what it is.
It's in the name of not trying to making sure the consumer can see, and the printed stuff is even probably worse, because they. If you're printing something about an ad for anything, they don't want anything in the small print down below. I mean, they want the consumer to be able to see it as brilliantly as they see your whatever rate you're advertising. So it's a change. I think my radio ads are fairly generic and they're fairly annoying, so I could probably just leave them as is. We'll see. I mentioned
stamp of approval.
Yeah, got it. See, my microphone keeps wanting to go left and right there. I'll have to hold it here. I mentioned this week that. Quite the spur of activity. I'm sure even if you were a casual observer, you happen to have a radio or you happen to have a TV or you happen to have the internet, that at one point this week you heard that the Federal Reserve launched QE3, which is a cool little acronym that means we're going to print more money and buy more stuff.
Yes.
The stuff we're going to buy is basically mortgage-backed securities. And they're going to create a demand for them, or actually, I guess they're going to create a supply for them. We already have a demand, and so they're going to be supplying more money, sucking up more of the the demand for them, and so as all things, if there's more and more buyers of them, you can lower the rates and pass them off to the government. So theoretically, that should have brought rates down. That's their plan. The fallacy in that, and I appreciate the effort. I mean, they're looking around saying, okay, we're not the government. We're not happy with the way things are going, and for that I'm grateful, because I would agree that things aren't going the way they should. But the reality on it shows such a disconnect between those that make the decisions and those that live in the real world.
Right.
Now I don't know what it's like, in the rest of this country, and so maybe the rest of the country has plenty of homes to buy and things to do. I read the newspapers; it doesn't appear they do. But in our area, in California in particular, lowering interest rates doesn't mean squat. I mean, it doesn't. We don't have an interest rate problem. So again, what we did is, we didn't really
lower rates either.
The rates were already so low anyway. It made the pricing on them a little better. But then this was where the fallacy comes in. It was last week. Fannie Mae, which is the left arm of the government, the Fed is the other arm of the government, if you will. They increased their fees to sell them loans, which is a direct cost to the consumer. It just trickles right down, boom, and that we started to see that come out this week, almost about a half a point.
Yeah, about 50 basis points.
Yeah, not a half a point in rate, so it wasn't like you went from 3 to 3.5, but in fee, which is about an eighth of a point in rate.
Sure.
So they announced that rates go up a little bit, and the government, on the other hand, is saying, well, we need to get rates down. So they kind of just counteracted one another. And I understand why Fannie Mae did what they did, because everybody in the world is making money except for them in the mortgage world. And they end up on the headlines of every paper every quarter saying, we need more money. And eventually, I think you just get sick and tired of asking for more money. So they just say, okay, you know what, screw it. We're going to ask the consumer for more money. And so they're going to get more money on their end of things, so they have to ask for the government for less. So we have this ridiculous circle of increase, decrease, increase fees, decrease. It's just we ended up with a net basis at nothing.
Right.
We got nowhere.
Flatlined.
Which is fine, because we don't really have an interest rate problem. We have a house problem. We don't have anything for people to buy. And there's a great article out of the Wall Street Journal this week that it was only very, very small, but it says seller's remorse hinders housing market. And buying, this is the index of consumers' views on attractiveness of buying and selling homes. This is in the last 12 years. The attractiveness of buying a home has now reached the same peak for buyers that it was in 2002 and 2003 and early 2004, the high point of the last 12 years. Buyers now are as interested in buying a home now as they ever have been in the last 12 years. Sellers have never, ever been so low in terms of their attractiveness of selling a house, at least in the last 12 years. I mean, it's basically zero on their scale, and it was at 100. So we have all these buyers that are just dying to get in and get a house, and we have sellers saying, ain't no way I'm moving.
Right.
Or I can't move. Or I won't accept the fact that my house isn't worth what it was in 2005, and I won't sell it for that. Now, we got to take a break in just a second, and I promise we'll get to the two people on hold too. If you're going to sell your house and put all your money in a hole, and go rent, then I probably wouldn't sell either. If you're going to sell your house and go buy another house, and you can make it all work, I would do it now.
Right, great time.
Because I had someone ask me the other day, do you think there's any demand for selling my house as an individual? And I said, dude, you won't even be able to get your stuff packed before people are moving in on you. Your house will be gone. And you may not get the price that you once got at one time, but you'll get a very reasonable price for the market now, and you may not even have to open house the thing. It'll be gone that fast. Assuming your price and it's not a dump, and even if it's a dump, someone may buy it.
Yeah.
But the demand for existing homes is incredibly strong right now. There just isn't enough. And this is a great example. Seller attractiveness to selling a home, the lowest point, actually dove down there in 2009, and it's been almost at zero ever since. People just don't find attractiveness to sell. I just sold my house. I'm glad I did.
Sold it quick?
I sold it super quick. And it was a very clean house. It was priced a little bit above probably where it should have been, and we got it because there was that much demand. So, and we went out and bought something else that was attractive. Well, will be attractive. Let's get one phone call here real quick, and then John's going to throw out a quiz question here. Let's go to Joe. Welcome to Talkin' Money. Joe, how you doing?
Hi, Jeff. I just want to ask you a couple questions. First of all, with the printing of the money, QE3, I noticed that the gold and silver is starting to go up quite a bit.
Yep.
How do you feel about that as a secondary investment besides real estate and stocks and bonds? How do you feel about? Do you think it's like at an end, or do you think it's a pretty safe bet?
I am not a commodities expert, but I can tell you that I have felt for a long time that I thought gold was well overpriced, and every time I think that apparently I'm wrong because it keeps going up and up. I think gold and silver are going to continue to creep up until at one point we solve the issue of, we stop printing money, we stop lowering the value of our money, and people see that there's other value in our own currency. And then I think it's going to drop a little bit. But so if you're buying gold and silver, you're buying it either because you are someone who is concerned that the government is going to fold, in which case that will become your currency, or you're a speculator, in which case it's fine. Just recognize the speculators either make good money or they lose big money. But personally, I have put some money in silver and have done that as just another way of kind of holding maybe not all your eggs in one basket. I think right now, if you can get your hands on real estate, however you can do it, it's probably the better of the options because it's probably going to be a little more stable over time.
My second question, Jeff, is this. Are you still there?
I am.
Okay. Is this. I just recently got approved for Social Security, and I'll have steady income coming in on a regular basis. I did lose my house. I lost that to a foreclosure. I gave them cash for keys, and I'm going to have a substantial amount of money coming in. I've been informed that you cannot buy a house for 2 years, so that means I got another year to go before I could get obtain a loan. Even though I've kept my credit as best I could, my buddy wants to purchase a house. Could I purchase this house and have him buy it for me, and then have me have him put me on the title later, or can they still come after me? The four people that foreclosed against me, can they come after me for assets after the fact?
Okay, that's a good question, Joe. I'm gonna put Joe back on hold. He did two good questions. Okay, I'll put him on hold for just a minute. Two questions there. After they foreclose on you, can they come back after you? Not likely. If they foreclose on you, the property was their asset, particularly if it was a purchase money transaction. If it was a refinance, deficiency judgments, not likely. They're not going to come back after you. Can they put you on the next house? They can put you on as title only. You cannot be involved in the transaction. And I got to go back and I think it's not 2 years after foreclosure. It's 3 years after a short sale. I think is it still 7 after the foreclosure, John, or does he still do 3? FHA will do 3. Okay, yeah. So you can do 3 years after a foreclosure, assuming you get your credit scores up there. But you're not going to be able to be on the loan going forward until year 3.
And it's from the time the bank transferred it.
Yes, correct. From the time the title left your house.
Not when you walked out and got the keys.
Right. We got to take one quick break. Karen is on hold. I promise we'll get to Karen first when we come back. 339-1140. John, you want to throw out a quiz question?
Yeah. Let's see. So a lot's going on this week. Another item that is going to increase and boost GDP in the fourth quarter, 1/3 of a point. What product out there in the market is going to sell and boost GDP by itself?
One product is going to increase the gross domestic product of this nation by 1/3 of a point.
In the fourth quarter.
In the fourth quarter, they estimate. What product is that? 339-1140. 1-800-920-1140. You can text us at 44-1140. We got some Tacoma golf or some Mountain Lions tickets. Your choice. This is Talkin' Money. We'll be right
back.
Hi, my name's Jeff. Good.